Well, good morning. I'm excited to see all of you here. We're glad to be in partnership with you in service to the nation. It's been 1 year since the last forecast to industry, November 2nd, 2015. And the DISA director, and as you heard, the vice director, who also serves as our senior procurement executive, is intimately involved in our acquisition programs. The SPE actually, as she mentioned earlier, she is briefed on all of our requirements that are greater than $10 million. She also chairs the DISA's Services Portfolio Council, where we review business cases for new technology and capabilities that the agency is considering bringing into its portfolio. As a new vice procurement executive, I want to say hello to all of you because I've been on board about 9 months now, and I'm excited to be here and see all of you here. As promised as well in the Procurement Services Directorate, I understand that we told you on last year that we will be posting more opportunities and refreshing our opportunities more often during the year. And so I'm glad to tell you that we will be doing that and have started actually. And you will be able to receive that website where that's posted during the Procurement Services Directorate's briefing at the end of the day. So as you know, these types of events are never possible without the hard work of many, many people. So I'd like to take just a moment to give those individuals a round of applause, and I'm going to call their names first, but we're very, very grateful for all the hard work that they put into today's event. Lori Barrows, and if you are in the room, if you would stand, please. Lori Barrows, Cindy Ure, Elena Casanova, Trish Gething, Nancy Didak, Anthony Jackson, Alyssa Severns, and Colonel Jeffrey Merchant. They're all probably out working, but if you would, just give them a round of applause. We do also have some of our Procurement Services Directorate key folks here today. We have several of our staff out from our Ditko Scott location. And if they would stand as I call their names, our Ditko Scott head of the contracting office, Jim McCreary. From our telecommunications contracting division, we have from Mobility, J.B. King, ComSatcom, Lori Walker, Circuits and Networks, Nick Friedrich. If they would stand, please. In our Information Technology Contracting Division, the division chief, Scott Stewart, he is here today. Hardware, we have Deb Powell-Schaefer and Kim Hampel. And in the hardware section, that also includes our capacity services, and we have here for capacity services, Lisa O'Donnell. That also includes MillCloud as well. And in our software and our Jella areas, and I teased her on yesterday, and I said I was going to say we have the infamous Carrie Ross. That's an inside joke. Sorry about that. And we also have Amber Musenbrock here as well. And go ahead, please go ahead and give them a round of applause. And in services, we do have Tara Smith with us as well. In our Ditko NCR office, we do have a few of those individuals that are visiting or are here with us today. And the chief of the contracting office is Chris Gray. He is here today. And some of his staff, Kane Leedy, Juan Marshall, Carlin Campanos, Michelle Reed, Quentin Smith, and Brian Lita. We're very glad that they could all be here with us. They will be, after the introductions, they will be actually out in the foyer at designated tables, so please make sure that you engage them. We answer all the questions that we can answer. The nameplates will be on the tables, so you'll know who they are, and they will be out near where you registered this morning. So just to introduce the agenda this morning and the rules of engagement, we will start off with Ms. Sharon Jones. So I'm sure you all getting all your questions ready for Sharon. She will talk about our small business programs and the many ways DISA is ensuring great opportunities for small businesses. Following Sharon, Ms. Jones, we will be briefed by the Development and Business Center first, and then following that will be a 90-minute lunch. After lunch, there will be key DISA Operations Center portfolio briefings. The portfolio briefs will begin with a discussion of organizational structures, goals and priorities, followed by specific acquisition opportunities. For lunch, 90 minutes, there are many eating establishments that are outside of the convention center. Unfortunately, there aren't any inside there. Well, there is Starbucks, actually, that is downstairs. But outside the convention center, there are many eating establishments for you. We ask that you take that time also to network one with another and meet some of your industry, other partners and colleagues as well. And also visit the tables that are in the back outside near where you registered. Our PMs, our contracting officers will also, and portfolio managers will be available for discussions. Please ask questions, meet the PMs, meet the seniors, and network as well today. This is an event for industry, so we want you to get the most out of this day. This is an event for you. As you can see from the agenda, we have an all-star cast of briefers lined up for you today, and I know that today your takeaway will be that you are very critical as our partners in service to the nation and very, very critical to the success of our IT services programs. So I also get the great privilege of following through and talking to you today as a Senior Services Manager for DISA about the acquisition of services. And it is a pleasure to talk to you about services and all the initiatives that DISA is putting forth, and as well as the oversight that we are increasing on our services acquisitions. The Vice Director actually talked to you a little bit about some of the things we're doing as we take a look, and as she takes a look as the Senior Procurement Executive at our portfolio of services before we actually even issue them to you through FedBiz Ops Force as a solicitation. So I'm going to start with some of the things that are new in 2016 for services. With tightening budgets, we are indeed placing a greater focus on contract outcomes and improving our buying decisions. Earlier in the year, the department actually issued the DoD Instruction 5000.74 as the new oversight regime for services. This is indeed a continual evolution for DISA on how we buy IT services and using the data that we collect to better understand our requirements as well as our opportunities. Services actually, as you know, touches everyone. It touches everyone in the department, both military and civilian. In times past, civilians and military personnel were performing many of the critical services that advance the missions of the department. Well, today, many of you are performing those critical services for us. And so as a result, because we have released those responsibilities through contracted services, it's important for the department to actually ensure that we're improving our tradecraft in the acquisition of services. That means we must understand what we're buying to incorporate our strategic decision-making so the acquisition of services is well managed as well as affordable. Some of the achievements that we have actually made thus far in the acquisition of services is we're beginning to reduce the redundancy in our portfolio of contracts. We're identifying more opportunities for strategic sourcing and category management. We're also leveraging even more the capabilities of small businesses. And then we're taking a closer look at how we can continue to improve acquisition planning and execution. This chart actually shows you the taxonomy of services for obligations for DISA. It also includes DISA's obligations within the agency as well as our mission partners. Among the 9 taxonomies of services represented in the Department of Defense, DISA actually obligates dollars into 6 of these areas: the electronics and communication services, knowledge-based services, equipment-related services, facility-related services, logistics management, and research and development services. As we analyze these spending patterns, we are reforming the management of these requirements and analyzing these to achieve the efficiencies in our contract spending. We're asking some basic questions prior, and the Vice Director started to talk about this with you. What are our market considerations? Who are key competitors? What's the supply and demand on those services? What are our cost drivers? What are our trade-offs that we must consider in those capabilities prior to soliciting? And then, most importantly, we're also taking a closer look at our service outcomes. What kind of performance are we actually receiving for those services that we have contracted for? A constant review of these data points are critical to ensuring that we meet our mission objectives in this constrained budget environment. Noteworthy is that we're also applying best practices from across government to develop our strategies, which I believe will not only help us to achieve efficiencies, but also will support our supplier diversity. On this chart, you'll also see the taxonomy of services once again, and this time you're seeing the specific areas where we spend the preponderance of our dollars on services, and that is in the electronics and communication services, as well as the knowledge-based services. As 76% actually in the electronics and communications, which is the preponderance of our dollars and services. And I'm going to just step back just for a second, and hopefully I won't mess up using the clicker. I forgot to mention that our spend on services within our obligations is approximately $2.5 billion, and I'm using 2015 data as the taxonomy data has not been finalized for the FY16, but I don't expect that the percentages of what we're spending in those various areas will be very different once we receive the FY16 data. But as you can see there, that $2.5 billion of our obligations are spent on services. 76% of that $2.5 billion is actually in the electronics and communication services. Those include contracts such as capacity services, capabilities design, spectrum support, defense information systems network support, test and evaluation, operations center support, mill cloud, and also our telecommunication services. In the knowledge-based services areas, that includes our engineering and technical services, our program management services, acquisition support, as well as other educational and professional development services that are used across the agency. So I've mentioned some ways in which we're improving our buying strategies and our oversight for services so far. This particular chart actually sums up our initiatives into the 4 buckets. Requirements management is an area that we're refining. We're defining and achieving affordability targets, improving our buying strategies, and I've said that probably about 5 times this morning. And we're measuring contract performance. And the areas I believe that you're specifically interested in is improving our buying strategies and measuring our contract performance. So I'm going to expound just a little more on those. We're applying spend under management methodologies and utilizing category management and strategic sourcing where it makes sense. So far, you have already seen some of those, or have heard of some of those specific vehicles that we are putting forth. You also see some of the other government-wide vehicles that we have used. But we're taking a look at our spend patterns that you saw in earlier charts to make those quality decisions as to where we will achieve efficiencies and leverage our buying power by applying these specific methodologies. The Vice Director actually mentioned to you some of the design to value methods that we're utilizing, and she's utilizing actually, to uncover value creating opportunities on our requirements. This includes prioritizing criteria in our requirements and setting clear outcomes and addressing these trade-off considerations even prior to soliciting or putting it out for solicitation. This refined approach helps us to, it also helps you actually, you get advance notice of our requirements. And then it also helps you to give your input so that you can help to shape our strategies and help us build our requirements documents. We're also looking forward to your assistance because it helps us to align our strategies with industry practices as well as market trends. All right, I'm sorry about that. So, in measuring contract performance, we're making improvements on how we're establishing performance measures and metrics for agency requirements. We rely on your efforts to perform a broad array of activities to meet our mission sets. With that, we must do business with companies that deliver quality goods and services and within budget. We're taking a refined approach and looking at our CPARS data and utilizing that more readily as we make quality decisions for contract award. I've mentioned earlier, and so did the Vice Director, about how we're improving our communication with you. We are leveraging your expertise to craft our requirements, your added feedback into our clean structures, our evaluation factors, and other tenets of our requirements, such as functional requirements documents, have been very valuable in helping us to move our procurements along. We understand that also this not only helps you write better proposals, but deliver solutions that are also timely and effective. We're also engaging to increase our communication under our multiple award IDIQ vehicles. Indefinite delivery, indefinitely quantity vehicles. We anticipate having more periodic engagements with you to talk about lessons learned and best practices, especially in those longer term vehicles, so that we would ensure that there are better procurement experiences as we continue to use those vehicles. Last, we anticipate also augmenting next spring the OMB initiative on Acquisition 360. DISA will issue surveys to gather information on your experiences in our acquisition process, the quality of our requirements, our communications during the pre-award process and the post-award process are all areas that we want to know about your experiences. As I end, I've discussed multiple initiatives with you that are being implemented across the agency for improving our services. We're reviewing metrics and portfolios to determine better spending patterns and make better buying decisions. We're continuing to promote supplier diversity. We're improving how we craft our requirements and focusing on value-added opportunities. We're communicating more often with you as our partners. And what we need from you is we want to make sure that you are also continually engaged. So we want you to respond to our opportunities in improving our requirements. We would like for you to ensure that when you receive the Acquisition 360 initiatives, please make sure to respond. We look forward to receiving your comments. When you receive DISA's surveying of your responses, please make sure that you respond. We are very, very interested in your feedback to improve our procurement processes. So in closing, I thank you for your attendance here today, and I look forward to meeting many of you in the Meet the Seniors that will be towards the end of the day. And I do believe I do have just a few moments for questions. And if I'm unable to answer any of your questions, I will also be in the back during the Meet the Seniors and will be able to talk to you at that time. Great. Thank you very much, and it was great speaking with you today.
Thank you, Ms.